Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I am your host, Brett McCollum, and today I'm here with Erik Timmermans, and today we're going to be talking about how he went from food stamps to a 7-figure portfolio. But before we do, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs to 5X their businesses to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and live the lives they've always dreamed of. Without further ado, Erik, how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, I am so excited to be on the show with you. Got to know you a little bit here before we hit record. And guys, I have news for you. You probably heard me say it before, but this is going to be a good one. Erik, before we get into all the things, and we will, can you do us a favor, kind of back up, rewind, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Erik Timmermans?
Erik Timmermans. I was born in 1981 in the Netherlands, over in Europe. So that's where you hear my accent from. Did a study in recreation. So ended up in the paradise of entertainment, Orlando, right close to Disney. Was there from 2004 to 2006. Met my wife there, and at that point I had a work visa, so it came to an end. So I moved back to Amsterdam. My wife followed me. 3 years later, she decided that the rainy weather and the overcast was not for her. She needed the blue skies and the sunny weather that we have here in North Carolina. So we moved in 2009. 2009, we got married, and in 2011 we moved back to her place in Raleigh. So I've been here since 2011. I did a W-2. I became a recruiter for a great company. Was my W-2. I loved it, but we ended up on food stamps because we have a daughter that is now 13. Feels like she was born yesterday, but she's 13 years old. And in 2015 we got twin boys, and we decided that we didn't want anybody else raising our kids, but we should raise our kids. So my wife stayed home, and that ended up costing us that we ended up on food stamps. We couldn't just make the bills anymore. And at that point, somebody said to me, "You should go into real estate." And of course, I looked at that person like I saw water burning, because with $50 in my name, I knew that with $50, real estate was much cheaper, of course, in 2016, much cheaper than it is now, but not $50 cheap, right? So
Right.
figured out a way. I started listening to podcasts similar to this that have a lot of inspiration and have a lot of speakers there. And I learned a way that you can use OPM, other people's money. So that's really when we got started. We last 8 years, we built a portfolio with rentals. We have some new builds that I'm doing. I said last year, I was becoming a builder. That was May of last year. And right now in this May, I have 13 new builds going on, and I do several flips. Like I said, I got 3 kids. My daughter is 13, and my twin boys are 10 years old. We live here in North Carolina, and I work
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That's my new thing that I did this year. I'm proud of. I work Monday to Thursday and don't do anything on Friday. That means sometimes I have to work on Saturday morning, but yeah, that's my new thing. Trying to work less and do more.
That's the dream right there too. Yeah, man, very cool. I want to go all the way back. This is really cool. So, all right. It's interesting, by the way. Do you know that I talk to people all over the country and get, it's such a blessing to be able to like meet different people. More and more I'm talking with immigrants to the US, and said immigrants have consistently, it's a wild how well, like how much success follows that. And I'm sure that there's there's a percentage that aren't successful, obviously, just saying anything, but man, you see it all the time. It's just like, yeah, I'm from here. I'm like, wow, it's just so cool to see. Wanted to go back to that time. You moved here back from Amsterdam. It's 2011. Is that correct? And you moved back to the Raleigh area. When you did that, did you guys when you were coming home to wife's home, rather, you're coming back, was this premeditated? Like we knew we were coming back, or was this kind of something that happened suddenly, or what was that like back then?
So my parents, my brother and sister, I'm the oldest of four kids. They're all there, and my father is an entrepreneur. He had a cleaning business for about 100 people, and when I was going back, I was projected to take that over. We were in a timeline that I was going to take that over, and so it was very abrupt. And it was not planned. So we literally packed our bags, or we announced in January that we were moving back. My wife moved back in May of this year, and I moved in June. So it was very like, hey, she was very unhappy there. Just again the weather, and just wanted to be with her family here. So it was not planned, but something that I absolutely don't regret, because when you talk about immigrants, right? I think that if I look back, would I have the same opportunity in my country? I don't think so, because for me, if you're born somewhere, you have certain ideas in your head that might prevent you from doing a certain thing. For me, real estate, right? Like you need to have a lot of money to get into real estate. Where if you go to a different country, you have no idea what the rules are. You have no pre-notions. You just, there's certain things that you don't know that you do that you find out by doing, and that's how it worked for me here in America, right? Like I found out a lot of things by doing, and that's a lot. That's what I tell a lot to people that want to get into real estate and they're focusing more on the business side than picking up deals. Amazon started in a garage, right? Amazon didn't know that Amazon was going to be Amazon, that Amazon is today. So don't think about, like, of course, have a goal where you want to go, but don't try to be Amazon as Amazon is now from the day you start. Let there be time for you to grow your business and learn stuff. And that's how I think that that foreigners or immigrants can be successful, because they just don't know certain things, and they learn that on while they go.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I have to ask. You made, and I apologize if I'm stepping a little too far when I say this. You made mention that your wife, she was unhappy over there. Isn't it supposed to be like the happiest people in the world over there? Yeah, that's what I've always heard.
It is. So although if you move to the Netherlands, you have like the government makes you learn the language by providing you education. You have to go to the university and learn the Dutch language.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Okay.
But if you are at a party and everybody's speaking Dutch and everybody's speaking Dutch in a like in a slang and it goes fast, it is hard for you to pick up.
Sure.
Secondly, the Dutch, if they hear an accent, they start talking English to you. So yeah, it's really hard for you to pick up and learn the language. So it became a little bit of an isolation because like if I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm not going to speak English because my wife can't understand it, right? So it was a little bit of an isolation as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I thought it was like, I've always heard this is the happiest people in the world. Yeah, very cool. All right, so it's you have your daughter and then you have the twins. Okay, so twins are born. You're working at W-2 at the time, is that correct? Yeah. And then make the decision. Hey, mom's staying home. Before let's talk about this because we did the very similar thing. So I identify very, very strongly. So I want to ask you was that, I know for us, it was a tough decision. It was like, we kind of walked it back a couple of times mentally. Like, are we sure we want to do this? How was that process for you guys back then?
So we had a goal, and what I forgot to tell you, when I set that goal, I was 36, and I said at age 40 I will retire, which by the way I did. But in those 4 years, you have to understand that I worked at W-2, and because I was in charge of European customers, I worked at W-2 from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Because my clients are over in Europe. I was in the recruiting, I was in the clinical research space, so I had to deal with clients over in Europe, over in the UK. So I worked I left the house at 4:30, went to the gym, was at work at 6 o'clock, worked until 3 o'clock in that job. Then 3 o'clock, jumped in my car. And the good thing about real estate is real estate doesn't wake up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. Right? If you're a realtor, and all the realtors are of course going to message me after I say this, but if you're a realtor, you can sleep in every day because it goes later, right? It's after work hours. So 3 o'clock, I would jump in my car. I would start driving to the properties, driving to my flips, driving to my meet up with people that had money because I didn't have money, so I had to find money. And just walking properties with my realtor. So sometimes I wouldn't even come home until 7, 8 o'clock. And then when I came home, would put my kids to bed and straight until 10 o'clock would sit behind my computer evaluating deals. So it was an incredibly tough time for our marriage, and the decision almost has cost us our marriage. But because it is often really hard if you're in that grinding space, if you're in that hey, I need to grind. As a man, you want to provide for your family. You want to, or at least I wanted to do that. I dedicated all my time, my weekends and everything to growing the business. But what I did is the money I made, I didn't put that back in my family. I put it back in my business. So for the first 4 or 5 years, my wife never saw the benefits and was very, very patient with me. But again, it was a very challenging period for our marriage as well, because I knew what we were achieving, and now of course she sees it, and we're much in a much better space, and we're reaping all the financial benefits of the decisions we made then. But it was hard because my partner saw me working hard, but didn't see that back in the bank account.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's a tough season for sure. And obviously we talked pre-show and like we've been through that. And when your wife is struggling with this thing that you're doing doesn't show me that right now. And by the way, and so your wife stayed home raising the kids, you homeschool. We do the same thing. My wife homeschools, stays at home. And she's looking at the bank account going,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
It absolutely is hard. And then time wise, right? Like where all of your time is also going to that.
Yeah.
Man, do I resonate with that strongly, because and we tell ourselves, by the way, I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for the kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and we are. But we are. We're like, that's how we're built.
Part of it.
You know, and we are. But let's be honest, that's where some of the things we were talking about pre-show is like, where some of that pride and stuff comes in. Is like, actually, I'm also doing it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because I need to prove to myself that I can build this business.
Yeah, and I'm a man, and I want to provide, right? Like it's at least that's how I am, and I'm a little old school in that. But
I agree.
I want to provide, right? Like I want to provide for my family. I want to have create a better, and not that I had a bad, but I want to create a better life for my kids than I had.
That's right. Well, and then also, I think the other side of the thing that I've been learning through is provision isn't always by financial means.
Correct.
You know,
and that's what I learned, and that's what I learned as well, and that's why I said in the intro, like, this year I'm not working on Fridays.
That's when you said that I was like, ooh.
And I'm taking dates with my kids. My wife is off the hook. I'm going to museums. I go fishing with them. I'll take them on hikes, and it creates so much more. So it's so much more than the financial in your bank account.
No doubt.
The ability to spend with your kids. And again, this year my debt is higher than I ever had before, because I am building $1 million homes in Raleigh. Just one project is $2.5 million. And this is one out of the 13, right? So I took on so much more debt and decided I'm going to work so many less hours than I did last year, but I take on more debt.
Yeah. That's a tough mental challenge, isn't it? Yeah.
That's why I have bangs and gray hair.
Yeah. Listen, but it's the same time, it's, it's my trust is in a source that's not, my source is in God, not in my own ability. No. So I can do the best with what I've been given. Yep. And I have to be able to trust him with the like, I have to. Now, I used to even say this, Eric. I used to say, and I hope this isn't, overstepping here either, but I used to say, I'll do my best and give God the rest. That's like the classic, like, Southernism Christian thing to say. And something that I got really convicted on over the last year was like, that's the problem, is we're giving him the leftover, not all the beginning for me. And so, if that's the conviction of like, time is a resource too, and my kids and my wife, they need me, because do I know what it feels like to have your marriage struggle because I'm choosing this business over this? Yeah. And then at the end of the day, like, make all the money you want. If they're not there with you along the way,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
And I've had to walk through some of that, man. So I get it. Last thing before we kind of get into the real estate side of things, you've got the twins. They're little at this point, and the financial means isn't there yet. And just mentally, where were you at? So, you know what, we're doing the food stamp thing. Where was that? What was that season mentally like, having to go through that? Was it something like, no, it's just what we have to do, or was it like, oh, this sucks?
That was the biggest ego trip that I experienced. I mean, you have to imagine, right? You're in Walmart, and you have all your kids there in the cart, and you have the stamps, and then there's a picture of, if it's bread, there's a picture of the bread and the brand of bread that you can pick, and then Walmart puts a next time you go to Walmart, there is a sticker on there, a certain
Yeah.
sticker. So you can only pick that one, which it is always the bread that already expired or is about to expire. So you're trying to raise your kids on molded bread and expired fruit. And then you get into the line, which back in the day, Walmart did not have self-checkout, and
Right.
there were 30 checkout lines, but only one was open. So
Always.
there was always 20 people behind you, and you have to say, I am so sorry. This is going to take a while because I have to find when the cashier scans the bread, I have to find the right coupon and give it to her. And then we have to make sure it actually matches up. So this is going to be a while. So, if you are in that phase in your life where you are at the bottom of the barrel and you can go lower, you hit rock bottom, um, I think that was a saving grace for me because that allowed me that my pride was already gone. So
Sure.
when I purchased my first house, I had no issue asking people for money because my pride was already left the door. And I think some of the people that get started in real estate, their pride might held them back because they don't realize that, in real estate you can have three things, like I said pre-show, right? You have the deal, you have the money, or you have the time. And you just gotta find between those three things what you're missing. And of course, I had time and I had the deal, but didn't have the money. So I looked for money. But I really think that me being on food stamps s- saved me, and it was like, okay, let's just go into real estate and let's figure this out. My brother-in-law asked me, who has a well-paying job at a corporate organization and has some money in the bank account. He goes, "What do I need to do to get in real estate?" I said, "I hope you end up that broke." And he
Wow.
looked at me like, wow. I said, no, but your dreams, a corporate organization is now paying for you to forget your dreams. You have some money in the savings accounts that you apparently don't want to touch. So you're not, you're going to focus on your W-2 because it pays you well, and you can do what you think you want to do, until you end up, in a tough place. You don't know you might not realize what your dreams are, or you're not willing to take that risk because you're sitting in a comfortable throne in your W-2,
Yeah.
and therefore you forget your dreams.
Yeah. Wow. Man. Yeah, that's really good. So fast forward us, you've been, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And then, man, where are you at today? Like how many, like home, like you started, I mean, you were literally standing in line for probably at least 45 minutes between the people in front of you and then your portion of it
Yeah.
with your probably were your kids in tow at the time, you feel like, and it's like this, I can't believe I'm here. Mine's like, this is where I'm at right now. And now how many doors do you own and where's life at today?
So when we get started, we did two the first year, and then I was at a local meetup, right? Like, and I can encourage people, masterminds, local meetups, go to it, go to it,
Yeah.
go to it. And then we were at the local meetup, and we said, me and my business partner at the time said, next year we will have 50 rentals. And everybody in that meetup were beginners, and everybody wanted to do one, everybody wanted to do two, maybe I'm going to do three. No, we had a hard goal and said we're going to acquire 50 properties next year, and this is how we're going to do it. That turned into that the people in that room that had money wanted to talk to us. So by the end of that meetup, we had people fighting to talk to us. Like, people were literally just over the heads, were throwing business cards on the table and left and say, please give me a call. I want to talk to you. So the reason I want to mention that is, like, if you have a clear goal and you know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, people are going to appreciate that and hook onto that, and say, I want to be part of that. But if you're going to say, I might want to do two deals, I might want to have one deal, it's never, for me, I don't think it's ever going to start. If you say, I'm going to buy 10 rentals this year, and this is how I'm going to do it, you're going to be successful.
Right.
Now, fast forward, I have north of, and the reason I say don't have an exact number, I should have known it before the show, but I sold a few this year. But I have over 150 rentals. I do 13 new builds, and I do 35 flips a year.
Yeah. And that's the perspective I was trying to show is, I mean, this isn't that long ago that you're standing in that
8 years.
line. Yeah.
and I'm not sure if I should mention it, but I do. My net profit this year is projected to be more than 1.5 million
I mean, in 8 years,
in
you
8 years.
know, that's what I'm saying. And in literally so I have a coach, a business coach that he says,
Me
and
too.
I think you'll resonate with this. He says, rock bottom is a firm foundation.
Oh, wow, wow,
And the way you said that made me think about that because
wow. Yeah,
that's going at that point of like, you know what, that may have been the worst moment in mentally, like you've heard the phrase, you can't see the forest for the trees, like there
I've said
is
it.
no way out, that it's
Yeah,
dark. There's no end of this tunnle. I don't, listen, I don't know you, Erik, outside of what we just met, but I know going through difficult times, I'm sure there were days where there was no light at the end of the tunnel. You couldn't see forest for the trees,
yeah,
but also that was the best thing. And it didn't feel like it because you're a man and you're trying to provide for your wife and 3 kids.
yeah, yeah.
And you're, man, it's a testament to the power of both one, God, two, our ability to work through difficult things
Yeah.
and trust that there's something else.
Yeah. And
We
I'm
did
going
it.
through it right now, right? I'm going through it right now because and we spoke about that pre show, but like a lot of people, we got really comfortable in during the COVID times, and that
Yep.
things were going to go up, including myself. And so I have about 5 flips that I'm going to lose somewhere between 60,000 to $8,000 on, or 8,000 to 60,000, however you want to look at it. And there are deals that I sold, I make nothing on. I break even and I walk away from it. I started off the year that some of my hard money lenders were going to foreclose on me and sue me, right? And I worked through it. It's the ability and for me the trust in the Lord, and say, hey, I know you got me, guide me through this. What do I do? And just have those tough conversations with your lender, and don't push him aside, but just face the problem head on. And you'll find that if you go through it and never give up, you will always win.
Yeah. Till
Whatever
the
the
end.
win looks like.
Yeah, and sometimes that win isn't what you ever thought possible. Because I could, again, back to that standing in line in Walmart, cutting the coupons out. Probably you didn't think about, like, I'm gonna have 150 rental properties in 8 years.
If somebody would have told me that, I would tell you are insane. You lost your mind.
In what world, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
listen.
I have $50 in my bank account. I cannot even buy this bread that my kid wants. I can't even buy a bike that my kid wants,
Yeah,
let alone a house.
and also too, like I love like continuing to put ourselves mentally, not to feel bad about it, but to go, man, the level of gratefulness, that we can look back on and go, you know what, man, it wasn't long ago.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
it
and
wasn't.
never forgetting that, because it is really easy in real estate, especially when you're starting to do more and more transactions, to get super transactional about this business.
Yeah.
It's just one more deal, it's one more deal, it's one more
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
And it's very easy because it is so time consuming, like you mentioned earlier. And then you start to listen, I'm not beating Erik up because this is me too. Okay. Like the fingers are pointing back at me when I say this. The very thing that we have to be the most grateful for, I feel like sometimes we take very for granted. And we show that by how we treat our family, our wife, our kids, and everybody else. And it's like, dadgum, man, like we did this all, and then we left them in pursuit of it.
Yeah.
I hate that we've done that I've done that. I hate that,
Yeah.
but it's also like, okay, maybe we had to go through that to level us up as husbands and fathers too. And now you've got Fridays off, you're going fishing and you're doing those things. It's like, okay, maybe I never would have been this dad if I not had gone through some of it. So I have to look at it from both perspectives.
Yeah, and I look at it from the perspective that the Lord put me through that to now be an support or motivation for other people that are in that situation, right? Like there is a way out, and that's why I'm so appreciative of being on this podcast and talking to you, because there is you don't need to have money to be in real estate, right? Like
Yeah.
when I turned 40, which is 3 years ago, on my 40th birthday, that was another big pivotal moment. On my 40th birthday, I called up my director, almost literally shit my pants, and said, I am quitting. And I'm still the sole provider for my family. I was at that point I was earning more than six figures in that W-2 in that job, and it was one of the scariest thing I've ever done. But what you learn by going through hard times is that whoever you trust will have you back, and trusting in yourself as well. Like, hey, I can do this. I can move forward. I can weather whatever storm comes with whatever religion you have. For me, it's the Lord, but I can weather this storm, and I can move to this. And that's what, on my 40th birthday, that's a goal that I set on when I was 36. I said when I was 36, I'm going to retire when I'm 40. On my 40th birthday, I called my boss up, and it's what I did. So that's how goal oriented I am as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is and not to make all biblical, but the Bible is very clear on that too. There's a passage in the book of Habakkuk. Maybe it's obscure to some folks, but look it up. Write your vision down, make it plain, that he who sees it may run with it. And I think there's a lot of power in whether or not, if you're listening to this and that write your vision down, look at it every day. Okay, just make it very clear, and I promise you that you'll find yourself, on the other side of that. So, man, I appreciate you doing this, Erik. And I know this has inspired a lot of folks, what you've done, where you're going. I wish we could spend, another hour and a half, 2 hours, kind of going through, but I want to respect your time, man. But if people want to reach out and connect with you some way, get to know you better, what would that look like?
The best way is always Facebook or Instagram. Just type in my name, Erik Timmermans, Erik with a K. Instagram. What I do a lot now, because the market is so incredible, volatile, or there's so many things changing. Every day there is a post, one or two posts on my Facebook and on my Instagram that has market updates. Right, like you see a lot of, and that's why I'm so appreciative of what you're doing. You see a lot of gurus out there that say the real estate market is crashing, foreclosures are this, foreclosures are so. I'm trying to keep it real with real data that comes from real resources. And just trying to inform people. But if you want to reach out, Facebook, Instagram, drop me a message. I always reply, because again, I just want to help people understand that real estate can be an incredible vehicle to financial freedom.
Incredible, and we'll make sure that gets in the show notes for you guys. And if you don't follow along with that, I don't mean to be rude, but you are silly. So make sure you reach out to Erik, guys, and do that. And by the way, Erik, I did want to say one thing too as well, before we sign off here. The fact that you didn't shy away from saying, hey, I'm going through stuff right now. Good on you for that, because I know a lot of us want to project the image of, but we're still crushing it in real estate. Like, this is hard. It's a hard season for a lot of people. I won't say most, but I'll say a lot. It's probably most. But it's a hard season right now. So thanks for being open with us about that, and also still optimistic at the same time. I think that's an incredible blessing too. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to be on this podcast.
Yeah. Thank you, Erik. And guys, thank you to you as well for hanging out with us, spending your time. We'll see each of you guys on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.